Hello! Hello, everyone. It's the Regular People's Podcast with your boy, Tapelo Mere. And this is really the first long form podcast alone. So I'm excited about today's show for a number of reasons. Firstly, like I said, I am doing this one for the first time alone. And shout out to Leilos. He will forever be missed. He will forever be in our hearts for starting what is obviously one of the most exciting ventures I've ever done in my life. But enough about that. How was everyone's week? I had a relaxed week. August has been good to me. 2 weeks in and I'm already feeling, I have a positive outlook about August. I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe work is going to start being crazy soon, but I am very, very much positive and excited about what August has been so far, and obviously hoping that it will continue being such a beautiful, beautiful month. Like I said, this month, the last day of the month, I'm doing August football. I'm joining them. I am joining everyone who does August football, but I am hoping that August is as good as it is to me. If it's not, let's push, let's try to make it better, because it's your deliberate actions that make your life, month, year better. So shout out to everyone who's trying to do that for themselves, and for those who have not started, to those who are still saying, who are still complaining, who are still complacent, we still say shout out to you, and you guys will find the motivation, you will find the purpose, you will find what you need to make your life a little better, and that's honestly what life is about. Life is a constant struggle of trying to move from one place to a even better place. So shout out to everyone who's doing this life thing and really trying to better themselves, and those who are not trying yet. We hope that one day you will try, and when you do, you are definitely going to get to a point where you want to be. But yeah, as we all know, this week was Miss South Africa. I don't even have the notes in front of me here, and I'm going to butcher everyone's name, because firstly, I don't really care much about the contest itself, but it's a big story, and everyone on Twitter is talking about it, so I do feel obliged to obviously say something about the Miss South Africa pageant. And honestly, I never thought of this, but doing this thing alone is going to be way more difficult than doing it with someone, because I have to plan the show. So every time I'm not looking at the screen, please don't judge me. Don't judge me. I have machines here, I have recording here, I have the camera here. Everything is working at the same time, and I am the sole individual who has to make this whole thing work. But I'm not complaining. I love everything that I am doing. But like I said, it was the Miss South Africa pageant this week, and obviously still trending number one, Miss South Africa. Big topic. It's a big pageant, and we know Miss South Africa has, I'll get to it later, but let me just recap what happened. What I saw, at least on Twitter, because I didn't watch it, was that it was obviously a spectacular event as always. The glitz, the glam, the celebrities, the people who have money were there, So all of that was there. But I just wanted to talk about the winner here of the Miss South Africa pageant a little bit. I don't know much about her. Like I said, not exactly the biggest watcher of this. But what I do know, her name is Ndavi. She's Tsonga. And she's the first Tsonga Miss South Africa. Shout out to all the Tsonga people. Shout out to all the beautiful Tsonga ladies. You are finally represented in the beauty pageant world by Miss Ndavi, who's a 23-year-old, originally from Zanin, but works in Cape Town as an asset consultant. They don't really, rather asset management, rather as a consultant for an asset management firm. Sorry about that. But yeah, she's the Miss South Africa for this year, 2020, and I see she has received obviously overwhelming praise, positive praise. I guess we have kind of now moved on from our girls without hair, or our girls with short hair. But I think it was a nice gesture by obviously the fans as well as the judges to kind of show that beauty doesn't mean just long hair. But I think they've kind of felt like they did enough, so they're moving on to what we know as typical beauty now, girls with long hair and whatever. But the pageant happened, but I would just like to highlight a few events, a few things that happened on the pageant, and obviously I'll post, I believe, this video here. This was one of the moments that I really liked about the Miss South Africa pageant. So you are looking at the moment now. Yes, so that was the moment that happened at the Miss South Africa concert where Makadzi invited this young TikToker, or a guy who went viral on TikTok and social media in general. He went viral for doing this dance. He's handicapped. He only has one leg, but he dances like crazy. And this was really one of the highlights of the event. Like this, obviously, and Makazi's performance, knowing that she's a fucking queen. Makazi is a queen, and we need to put some respect on Makazi's name. I mean, I do not tolerate any Makazi slander. I don't think she's above criticism or anything, but let's put some respect on Makazi. Makazi is a fucking superstar. And any event that's serious about actually making moves and entertainment and all of that, and you don't invite Makazi, we are not coming. We are not coming. Makazi is a fucking queen, and shout out to her for also just giving this young man recognition, who was dancing, I believe, to her song. And clip went viral, invited him to the stage. He came with his crutches and killed the moment. Man, it was obviously a beautiful, beautiful scene to witness, and that was one of the things that I saw. I even saw on Twitter now, the president of the country, Cyril Ramaphosa, gave Ndavi Nokeri is her surname, a shout out on winning the Miss South Africa pageant. But okay, I'm done talking about Miss South Africa and praising it. I kind of have problem with pageant in general. Pageants, I believe they are inherently misogynistic. That's just my opinion. And I know a lot of people carry this opinion too, but obviously it's not a popular opinion. I think pageants were absolutely created by men. I mean, who else would come up with an idea of parading beautiful girls around in, swimsuits? I mean, come on. The irony is that we always talk about disbanding or dismantling the patriarchy, but when it comes to certain institutions, it's like we don't care. And Miss South Africa is one such institutions where we kind of like accept, just beauty pageants in general. Beauty pageants are obviously very, very, very misogynistic and honestly very exclusive. They honestly, if I look at them, make women feel bad because they advertise this unattainable standards of beauty. Young girls don't see themselves in the Miss South Africa. I mean, especially in this country where we have bigger women, shorter women. I mean, women don't really see themselves in these supposed heroes or whatever they're supposed to be to young women. They cannot see themselves in that because how Miss South Africa is curated is that it's curated for these wildly beautiful, tall women, perfect, eloquent, studied. And I think the pageant is not representative of what South Africa is. What about Wanyana Gokasi? What about Tabise? What about them? They are not represented at all in the pageant. I mean, it is so misogynistic that up until I believe they say next year, Miss South Africa does not allow you to enter when you have a child. What? What, are you less of a woman? Are you less of a representative? You cannot represent South Africa if you don't have a child. I mean, we need to talk about this. We really, really need to talk about. So, what if you're a woman or a woman or a girl and you are married at the age of 22, 25, whatever the age might be, you are not allowed to participate if you are married. So, what are we really trying to do here? Why are we specifically excluding all these other women who literally have kids. Are we saying you cannot have a kid as a young woman and be a representative of South Africa? Because we know we have issues in this country. We have teenage pregnancy. Would it not be wonderful to see someone who obviously was a teenager and got pregnant, and because of whatever the reason might be, societal issues that we have in this country? Would it not be nice to see them represented and actually seeing how they conquered, how they were able to overcome the challenge of being pregnant as a teenager, and now they are Miss South Africa? Would that not be a beautiful story that we would like to showcase? I mean, if we are really about empowering women, would that be such a perfect and a beautiful representation of what is happening in our country? I mean, there's just some of the questions that I would like to ask. The pageant people, but I like I said, they did say next day they're going to allow people with kids. But yeah, I personally don't support beauty pageant as much. I think they are extremely misogynistic, and I honestly think we shouldn't. If we want to empower women, let's give them bursaries. And I know Miss South Africa will be like, but that's what we do. But why do they have to get naked and walk around the stage with their swimsuits and whatever and go through ridiculous diets in order for them to keep their body so slim so that they can fit in your handkotier dresses and taboos, swims? I mean, it's a bag at the end of the day, and I think that's what I want to come to. Miss South Africa is not, in my opinion, the organization, not about empowering women at all. In fact, the opposite. Miss South Africa is a bag, guys. I mean, come on. Have you seen the sponsors? Are we honestly saying this organization is not there just for profit's sake? Because we say this about churches, right? We're like, churches are kind of bullshit. And we have a story right now that we're going to talk about, where we talk about a specific church. We'll talk about it later. But do we not look at these non-profit organizations as an opportunity to get a bag? And honestly, just be honest with yourself. I mean, the judges get paid. The people who do appearances get paid. The organizers get paid. Is it not an opportunity to get a bag? I mean, and all those sponsors. I would love to see the breakdown between the sponsors that the MissSA gets and like the breakdown of how much she gets in actual money from sponsors and what goes to the pageant itself. Because they will say, yes, we need the money. We need to hire the events. We need to book this. We need to book that. I mean, the money from Mercedes, the money from House of Bonan, the money from Taburi, whatever, whichever sponsor. Is it not a bag? But let me know what you guys think of this topic on the comment section. But that's just what I wanted to do, a rundown of Miss South Africa. Also, like the video, share the video with your friends. Like I said, there is another story that I want to talk about now. And this is about, honestly, one of the most controversial figures in South African media right now. And his name is, I did a video on him. My last video is on Nota. Nota is a problem. Nota is a real prison. Beast is a problem. Bro is a problem. And now he has problems because here's the thing. If you want to be extravagant and say whatever you want about people for a living, that's a problem. And I know you might look at me, but you just made all sorts of accusations about this. But I am not an idiot. I clearly state that these are my opinion and this is purely speculation. And I'm just not saying I'm protecting myself. But some claims I'm just not going to make because I'm not an idiot. But here's the thing also with just wanting to go viral all the time, wanting to trend all the time. You have to say the most explosive thing every time, so you are always trying to beat your last viral moment. You say, okay, this is what I did last time. This is what I'm doing now in order for me to go viral. But really, this thing could land you in legitimate issues. And this is the story now that we're talking about. So I'm reading from the City Press, which is owned by News 24, media conglomerate. Shimza wins defamation case. Judges orders Nota to pay 200,000 rand in damages. So, let me tell you the backstory. So, a while back, Shimza was obviously trending for all sorts of things. People wanted to cancel him. But there was this element that I think was a little legitimate, in my opinion. To be fair, I don't know if any of the criticism was true, and this is just speculation on my part. So, Shimza has, I believe, 2 establishments, or at least the ones that I know of, the Hangout, and another one that I don't know really I forgot the name of the other one. So Shimza would host these events for example, Department of Arts or whatever, at his events. So people would be like, the boy from Tembisa is now benefiting from the corruption that's keeping Tembisa back. And this is what Nota said. This is not what I'm saying. This is what Nota said. And he made all sorts of accusations. In fact, he went as far as to literally say Shimza is dating or seeing or has an illicit relationship with one of the spokespersons of one of the departments. These were all allegations made by him, not me. And then Shimza saw this and he was like, what? These are defamatory, these are not true, and these are damaging. And honestly, I want to talk a little bit about damages and defamatory statements. I'll talk about that at the end. But yeah, Nota says all of these things. In fact, let me just read you the tweet so that, you know. He said, fix your corruption. And I think this was responding to an event that was happening in Hangout, which is Shimza's establishment. It was hosted by one of the national departments. And I believe it was a cook-off. I don't really remember the department. I'll look here and see which department was it. So he said, fix your corruption. Tembisa is a shithole. And Tembisa, like I said, this is the place where Shimza is from. You can't even call out the local government for lack of service delivery because you benefit while our family members in Tembisa live in squalor. Shame on you. So this is what Nota is saying. And he didn't stop here, like I said. He even went on to say Shimza is unduly getting these tenders because he has a romantic relationship with Atigeleba, one of the spokesperson, digital communications of the presidency. So, and like I said, all of this is Nota's word, not mine. That's what he said, and that's what he was sued for. So Shimza sends him obviously a deceased letter to say, please remove your tweets. These are defamatory statements. You cannot defame me in this way. It's damaging and it's problematic. And then Nota, the classic Nota, was like, hell no. Because, you know, like I said, he has to say inflammatory things so that he can trend. That's his whole thing. But then now he meets someone who has actually money for lawyers and he's like, I'm securing a bag off of you and you are defaming me, you are damaging my brand, and these are the damages that I'm now seeking as a result of all this. You know, all these accusations that are not only false, but they are also unfair. So he says that, and then Nota, in classic Nota, doesn't take the statement back, and then they go to Gauteng High Court. Shimza is asking, I believe at the time, 500,000 rand in damages. So when he's seeking this amount, Nota goes to court to defend himself. Yes, you know. He relishes in a moment to trend. And this makes news, obviously, because Shimza, popular DJ, Nota also, you know, I guess, glorified artist manager, whatever he is, honestly. I mean, he calls himself a media mogul. Okay, sir. Yeah, whatever he is, obviously, this gets the... And also, we know our press is full of shit. They like the sensationalism, bullshit, element of everything. So this obviously gets a lot of media attention. And, in fact, ends up at the Johannesburg High Court where Shimza continues to, Nota, I apologize, continues to taunt Shimza and he's like, yo, my father was there, my mother was there, supporting me while the trial when your mom was not there, your mom does not love you. He just does this weird ass, but the chickens come home to roost on Friday and they're like, bro, Shimza asked for 500,000. The judge is like, you know what? I'm going to give you 200,000 plus interest plus legal cost. Nota, you owe this amount. So Shimza has been going obviously on what I would say it's a, you know, I mean, celebration. Yeah, on a victory tour, on a victory, whatever the word is, whatever the phrase is, he's been going out and celebrating and saying, bro, because in fact, Nota posted a while back an account, one of his accounts, he said, oh, look at my accounts. And he had like 260,000 in the account. This is just in case my things don't go out. I have 200,000 rand in my bank. And Shimza looked at it and said, bro, that's not enough, bro. You're going to need more. But yeah, Nota is in trouble, and it's as a result of him just saying defamatory things about Shimza. So tell me what you guys think of this story. What do you guys think of our legal system, especially with regards to speech, right? And I will engage lawyers in this. But do you think there's a problematic element with these court cases where it appears now, every time someone says something celebrities don't like, they just take you to court? Would we not say that this stifles speech and actually this is in contradiction with what the Constitution wants to achieve with freedom of speech? I would like to have a conversation about that. Can we talk anymore? Can we speculate? Can we say ridiculous things without the fear of being... And obviously this is purely from a selfish point of view, as I'm a podcaster and I see a lot of things that might or might not be true, but I try to say truthful things that I see from other people. I'm not trying to defame anyone. But is this not a problem? This trend that whoever has money, if you say anything about them that might be of public interest, or it might be your opinion, is this not a problem that every time now you say something, you are going to get sued? You're going to get a defamation lawsuit. And what does this say about our God-given right to say whatever we want? I mean, freedom of speech, the Constitution. Is this becoming a problem? And or are we supposed to put allegedly in everything? Allegedly, because now you cannot freely express yourself. And also, really, and I will ask legal people this. I get the defamation part, right? You say something that's not truthful about someone, that's defaming them, right? Okay, I get that part. But are we also not supposed to prove damages to say, as a result of your statement, these are the damages that I have suffered, right? I mean, is it not supposed to go together? Because I am having a problem with just paying for defamation when they are not actual damages, or at least perceived damages, or possible damages, whichever the case might be. Because now everyone just comes up with this 500,000 rand figure. I mean, we've seen it with Bonang against Realeboga, and I'm not endorsing any of anything that was said, but I am legitimately asking, as commentators, as Twitter people, as just regular individuals online, can we not speculate? Are we not allowed to sometimes defame? Can't we defame people? And only when we actually cause them damages, so are they not supposed to be like, yeah, we are going to court? Because I believe that the standard for defamation damages in general is supposed to be higher for a public figure, right? Especially someone who is getting tenders from the government. And I don't know if he got the tender. I don't know if it was a tender or a quotation. Like I said, I have no idea who is allegedly, just so that I can, allegedly getting all these gigs from the government. Are we not free to speak about this? Just let me know what I was going to think of this, because I think this is a conversation where I should have it with a lawyer, because I get the defame part, but the damages part I don't understand. Did Shimza actually suffer damage? Like, can we just get damages purely from just being defamed? Like, how do you even prove these, right? Because at least my non-lawyer, maybe not so informed opinion, aren't you supposed to at least say, as a result of your statements, these are the consequences, this is the damages that I have suffered, and then you're supposed to get the relief. But it appears that nowadays it's just, you defamed me, can I get 500,000? I don't know if that's how we want to live in this country. And as a commentator myself, I get worried when I talk about these things, and I thought I had a God-given right, according to the constitutions, where I can say things and be protected by, obviously, the Bill of Rights and, my God-given right to freedom of speech, freedom of expression. But it appears not, and until we get right now, and also precedence has been set. You know what, I am going on and on about this, but also this is the final point on this. Precedence has been set now, right? Every time you say anything about a public figure who has enough money to take you to court, it's over. It's over, there's nothing you can do. But obviously, please apologize. Even if you don't mean it, apologize. I don't understand it. Just apologize and move on with your life. Delete the tweet. Take down the video. I would take down the video with immediate effect. If someone is threatening legal charge, especially asking such ridiculous amount of money, 500,000. I mean, But anyway, let me guys know what you think of this topic. Comment, like, subscribe to the channel. Now we're gonna talk about religion. You know, religion always makes people mad. Like, I don't like talking about religion. Purely because religion is such a personal thing and it's such an emotional thing. I feel like no one really looks at the religion objectively. And honestly, also religion also just kind of like tells you not to look at it. Because religion wouldn't exist if we looked at everything objectively, right? Sometimes we have to assume or believe that there's a higher power. I mean, there is literally zero empirical evidence to prove this, right? Unless you have your own personal experiences. And I said empirical, not anecdotes. You know what I mean? Empirical, anecdotes, different things. But empirical evidence, there's no empirical evidence for effectiveness of religion or it being good. None whatsoever. In fact, religion has kind of been used, and I've kind of said this before, maybe a little inflammatory, and people have kind of like, what are you saying? I feel like it's a bit of organized crime. I don't know what to tell you. Yo, I'm not exactly a religious person myself, but I did grow up in a religious home, and I understand and I respect everyone's decision. Live and let live. I'm that person. But honestly, sometimes I look at it and say, this would be the perfect crime. Firstly, the government doesn't in any way regulate you. You don't pay tax. You can keep all the money you want that you've gained through religious ways or means. I mean, come on, bro. Criminals wish they could be religion or a religious activity. I mean, they wish, right? And there's always someone who is getting rich off of all of this. And it's not the majority of the people. It's only a limited number of people who are actually benefiting and getting rich and actually making money from religion. Just like crime. And it's organized. It's... But anyway, that was just the premise to a story that I read this week from the South African. And obviously take everything I will say here with a grain of salt, because I'm not endorsing whatever has been said here. I do not believe or purport this to be a fact. That's not what I'm doing. I am reading a story on the South African. Headline: ZCC Barnabas Lekhanyane is accused of scamming his members. Advocate Jerry Koma is accusing Zion Christian Church Bishop Barnabas Lekhanyane and his disciples of scamming members of the church. They said disciples, but he's Jesus. But let's read a little bit here. What is he scamming them on? Senior ZCC member and advocate Jeremy says leader of the Zion Christian Church Bishop Barnabas Lekhanyane and his disciples are imposing burial and accident insurance on church members to make money off of them. Koma wrote a letter to Lekhanyane and his ZCC lawyers in May after they took church members to court in a bid to amend their policies. And we'll talk about these policies a little bit later. Advocate Jerry Koroma adds the Zion Christian Church ZCC leader and his son Edward are taking church members to court to ensure that the insurance scheme enriches him and his son. Lekhanyane and his disciples made headlines in May when they took their church members to court to secure their consent to change the terms of their burial and accident insurance policies, according to the Sunday World. According to the court papers filed at the Pretoria High Court, the ZCC leader and his son Edward Lekhanyane are asking the court to amend the terms and the conditions of insurance scheme Lekhanyane Radakanya Benefit Trust Fund, which is underwritten by Sanlam. That's their scheme. The members of the church members who are beneficiaries of the trust have been paying for the scheme through group policies, and payment were recorded in the booklets Khanya, which they received from their branch leaders. The church said because of the changes in insurance law, Sanlam was unable to continue with the group policies, hence they needed to change and Those who meet the terms and conditions of the amended ones will still enjoy the benefit. Insurance companies invited all ZCC members who did not approve of amendments to file a motion of intention, which will be heard on the 3rd of August. I don't want to go deep into this, but if you have a ZCC family, ZCC member, there's a Bukanyana insurance scheme that is paid every month. I believe the amount now is like 50 rand, times that by 7 million, and you are running all the way to the bank. 7 million is the amount of members that ZCC currently has, I believe, and this is purely speculation. So what is the problem with churches engaging in business activities, right? I think that's how we should look at this, because let's not try to try and there is an inherent problem with churches getting into businesses. And what is that problem, right? Because now when churches engage in business activities, churches are not exactly in the market. You know what I mean? Like, for example, these people do insurance, right? ZCC does not have its insurance in what we call a free market. No, this is just exclusive to their members, and they don't even have to market or convince. Just by virtue of you being their members, you have to be in this insurance scheme. So they don't even compete with the other insurance companies like a normal business. So you see now, you don't really have much of a choice in the situation. You are joining because you are a member of the ZCC. So meaning normal business practices cannot be applied to the church. And like I said, churches have all sorts of weird tax situations where they are not exactly required to pay SARS or whatever. So that's the problem. And I'm not just saying this because, I'm anti-religion or anything. The Commission of Promotion and Protection of Rights of Cultural Commission of Promotion and Protection of Rights of Cultural Commission also in this encourage, is that a way? Doesn't encourage participation of church in businesses, because they understand that there's an inherent problems with churches being in businesses, because like I said, they don't have to participate in the free market where everyone has to compete. We compete with prices, we compete with all sorts of things, we compete with better services and all of that. They don't have to do that. By just virtue of you being their church member, you buy their products. And that becomes a problem now, because churches don't have to follow all sorts of rules that would pertain to a normal business. So this commission, which is a Chapter 9 institution according to our constitution, prevents or rather discourages churches from engaging in businesses. And that is become obviously a problem. And like I would like to just indicate that I'm not targeting ZCC in any way. We've seen this with all sorts of churches, what you call charismatic churches, what you call Lutheran churches, all their structure, how they are structured, expecting money from this and this and this. But ZCC as a church has some redeeming qualities, and I would like to say this so that I can obviously do a fair and balanced reporting on this matter. It has wonderful benefits for their church, for their members. They have bursaries. They can rebuild your houses when you are in need. They can help you with school and all of these wonderful benefits that they do have, which honestly they are supposed to have such, because they are an insurance conglomerate that rakes in millions and potentially billions a year just of how much they make from all these insurance schemes that they run. But that is a redeeming quality. But like I said, we all have to look at this objectively. And like I said, there is obviously an inherent problem with religion, because no one is objective when you talk about religion. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say on this issue. Let me know what you guys think. Should churches engage in businesses? And honestly, should we just regulate churches and charge them tax like normal businesses? Would that make the practices better? Because at least I think, be honest, right? Yes, we're making a bag. So please regulate us like you would regulate any other business. So that's kind of like what I think. But obviously, you guys will let me know what you guys think. But that was just my opinion on this. Comment on the comment section and tell me what you guys think of this story. But yeah. It's not going to be a very long podcast today because, like I said, this is a one-man operation. I'm really trying to adjust to this. I'm trying to keep it as short as possible, to try to keep it entertaining, upbeat, so that, you don't watch 5 minutes and you're like, this guy's batshit crazy. But on to another story that is honestly, a bit disturbing. a bit South African because we love celebrities. We talk about celebrities all the time because, I don't know, maybe we don't have a lives of our own. But it's the story of Mihlali Damas and his boyfriend slash husband. I am not exactly. I don't know how he classifies himself now. As we know, Mihlali is the famous influencer, YouTuber, Instagram, whatever. All the she's entrepreneur. All of that, a young woman who's really learned how to make money on the internet and has become widely successful. Where I don't know what you guys attribute her success to. Some people will say all sorts of wild things. I mean, a bag is a bag. Success is success, bro. How you get it really doesn't matter. In fact, some people believe that this morality bullshit is just to keep us, people who believe in this morals, poor and broke. And she's not. She's doing well and she's worked well for herself. I mean, as someone who's never seen the door of a university, makes way more money than anyone who will come out of those universities. And honestly, one of the avenues that we need to look at as young people who realize there are other ways of making money without getting into or going through the traditional way of becoming successful, university, school, and all of that. But yeah, I wanna get into this now, and what I have seen today was totally crazy. Mostly because I have seen that as a relationship of her and Leroy or whoever this guy is, I have no idea who this guy is. To be honest with you, but I have seen that she's been getting a lot of attacks, bro. Like it's just 1,000 of attacks because allegedly, and I'm not sure, I'm not confirming anything. This guy Leroy has been in a relationship with, or rather was married to another woman who I don't know the name and honestly don't care. But as a result, people believe that Mihlali stole this Leroy guy. This is always so ridiculous, man. And this just shows us how, and I'm not trying to be like, oh, I'm Mihlali. I don't give a fuck mostly, but I just want to talk about the concept of, obviously I'll get to cancel culture and also just our obsession with just destroying and beating down, and especially on women, so the story is that Mihlali kind of stole Roy from, and this is not true, obviously. How do you steal a whole entire human being? But it goes to the crux of how people view women, and people always want to demonize women. Women are witches, women are this, all of this. It goes to all that patriarchal situation that we always have to deal with, always have to explain that these are two consenting adults who decide to get into a relationship. Why are we just attacking the women? What about the man? Why are we saying the man is fine, but they're calling her a homewrecker, right? Because these are not two consenting adults who are doing what adults do. They are, but we are calling online. You get a lot of likes by just calling her a homewrecker. And in fact, this has become so pervasive that Leroy had to put out a statement and kind of defend his fiance or girlfriend. I don't know what they are, honestly, to be honest with you. Had to come out with a statement and say, guys, this is an entire human being. This is an actual legitimate entrepreneur who is self-sufficient, who has done well for herself. Why do you hate her so much? This is what happened between me and my wife, and this is what's going on. Me and my wife broke up. I mean, it's August now, 4 months ago, but I started dating Mihlali when I was going through this whole entire breakup. He tried to explain the situation, but as we know, we have this account on Twitter, this is an actual toxic account, and from an actual toxic person, and from an alleged killer. Musa Nkwashu is an alleged killer. He supposedly killed someone in some waiting trial. I don't know. You can check that for yourself. I don't know if these are facts or not, but that's what people are alleging online. This guy has been on a rampage, just attacking. And I mean, we always say this, especially when celebrities take their lives or they go through depression, they become alcoholics, and we say, oh, depression is real, what. But we actually have a problem in South Africa where we like attacking people, but without actually reconciling ourselves with the consequences. This Musa Nkwashu guy, we've given him a platform where he can just attack whoever he wants. He uses it as like an iron fist, you know, and if he does paid content too, so meaning you can pay this Mushankoshi to target someone, to humiliate them, to do this, to do that. He does all of that. And even the biggest radio station in the country gave him a platform. Who calls the FM calls him regularly. This man has no credentials. He just have a popular Twitter page. And now in South Africa, because we think, or rather we believe that being famous is currency, we invite these people in our lives and we make sure that we do all these wild things, and then we give them a platform where we can actually harass. And I mean, he took the harassment to an all new level now, where he did a petition to have Mihlali removed as a brand ambassador of our Coca-Cola and all the other brands that she works with. Because like that's her bread and butter. She's a brand ambassador. She's a popular, influential human being. And this thing has been signed. Guys, this thing started at like, okay, can we get 100 signatures? Boom! 100 signatures within minutes. Can we get 500? Boom! Within minutes. Can we get 1,000? Boom! And then they had to increase the number of signatures that you could actually get. And they are now sitting at 1,700 as of this taping. It'll probably be 2,000 when you guys see this. Now, let's get 2.5. And he's going to reach 2.5 and he's going to go to 3,000, 5,000. And is this how, and people comment and they say, this is a terrible person. This is what. But really, I really don't know. I really don't think we should treat human beings this way. We sometimes forget that even popular people are human beings. And I'm not defending her, but I'm just looking at this element. Like, remember what happened to Katlehoma Boy? Same thing happened. Popular Twitter accounts, blogs, or whatever, they came in and say, let's finish his career. That's exactly what we are doing here. And even Nota, who's now obviously a human hater because women hate her because his wife left him and all of those things, has participated in this, shared it on his Instagram. He's not on Twitter anymore because he lost to Shimza, so he's hiding on Instagram. He even reposted this and said, let's humiliate her more. I mean, someone kills herself after doing something like this, man. How are you going to feel about it? And really, we need to think about how this affects other people's mental health, man. And yeah, guys, that's been our show. That's been the Regular People's Podcast. I really enjoy doing this show, and hopefully I'll be able to carry on doing it alone or find a replacement for Matane. But thank you guys for watching. Please make sure that you subscribe. Please make sure that you comment and like. I really appreciate any interactions that I get with you guys. Any like, any share, anything, any post, any picture that you send me showing me that you are watching the show. I really appreciate you guys. But that's been our show. My name is Tapelo, and that's been the Regular People's Podcast. I am out.